Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm so excited that we're back in session and we are going to continue our learning. I hope you guys all had a wonderful spring break. I know we couldn't travel and we couldn't do some of the things that we definitely wanted to do. Miss LeBerry did not go to Peru. That's okay. But we are safe and hopefully healthy, and hopefully you got some downtime and some rest and you did some fun things. Okay. Before we move on with our next story and our next passage to really focus on conflict, we're going to talk about the two types of conflict. Okay, so we know that a conflict is a problem in a story. And so when you think about the character motivation, a character's motivation, what a character wants, what a character, hopefully you said it. So you have the motivation plus an obstacle. An obstacle is something that gets in the way of what the character wants, right? And so there's a problem that comes, and that's the conflict. So we know that motivation, like what the character wants, plus the obstacle, what gets in the way, it might be a character, it might be an event, creates the conflict, creates the problem in the story. So conflict is the problem in the story. Okay, so we know that. We've talked about conflict in class, and we've talked about conflict in every story that we've had. But I want us to really focus on the two types of conflict, okay? The first type is external conflict. External conflict. A problem between two characters or two groups. So let's take an example, all right? Let's make an example. Miss LeBerry would get so mad at Mr. Berkey when he would eat her lunch. So that means there's a conflict between two characters. If the story is about Miss LeBerry's day at school and Mr. Berkey went in to the teacher's lounge and took I never make my lunch, so we're going to say Potbelly, love a hoagie, okay? So we're going to say Mr. Berkey snuck in to the teacher's lounge and ate Miss LeBerry's lunch. Miss LeBerry found out from Miss Quigley that it was Mr. Berkey that ate her lunch, and now she has nothing. So there's a problem between two characters. Mr. Berkey, for whatever reason, ate my Potbelly, which I'm really upset about, and there's a problem between both of us. I'm mad at him. I'm angry at Mr. Berkey. He created a problem. I wanted my really good Potbelly. I wanted to enjoy my lunch, and he ate it. And so he created the problem, the conflict between us, right? So those are two characters. Then you have the other type of conflict, which is internal conflict. It's internal conflict, right? So we had external on the outside between me and Mr. Berkey, right? Two characters. Internal. We deal with internal conflict all the time and we don't even realize it. Internal conflict is a problem in a character's mind. Scholars, I have internal conflict all day, right? Because we're home and my internal conflict is my going back and forth in my mind, like, oh, I have a conflict with myself because I can't stop going to the refrigerator and eating and snacking and eating chips and salsa and Cheez-Its. And I have granola bars that I keep going in. I had a whole bag of popcorn that I already ate from Trader Joe's. So the problem in my mind is that I keep getting mad at myself because I am trying to not eat all day. I don't want to eat all day. That's not good, right? And so the problem in my mind is I'm like, okay, Miss LeBerry, you already had breakfast and you need to walk your dog and you need to do work and you need to grade different tests and assignments and you need to talk to your family. So there's all these things that I want to do, but in my mind, I'm like, oh, that popcorn in the cabinet sounds so good. So that's a conflict in my mind. It's not with anybody else on the outside of me, right? It's not with Mr. Berkey. It's not with Miss Cappus or Miss Quigley or Buttons, my dog. It's with myself, right? So internal. Let's chunk that word, internal. It's on the inside. It's in your mind. It's a problem in a character's mind. We read problems in characters' minds all the time, right? And so we all have that inner dialogue where it's like we are talking to ourselves, right? We're talking to ourselves throughout the day. And it's in our mind. We're like, oh, sometimes you can be disappointed with yourself, angry, upset, positive things, very proud, happy. You could be really excited for something about yourself. So internal conflict is when you have a problem going on in your mind. It's a problem in a character's mind, okay? So I want us to really I'm going to go back through, right? So we know that a conflict is what a character wants, there's an obstacle that the character cannot get what they want, right? And that creates a conflict in the story. So we are trying to identify the conflict in the main story of my rotten redheaded brother, right? Before we get into it, Miss LeBray is going to make another video, but I want us to really focus, right, on knowing these types of conflicts. So we have our external conflict, a problem between two characters or two groups or more. So like I told you, I was so mad at Mr. Bricky when he ate my Potbelly. That is a conflict between two people. That's a conflict between two of your teachers, right? Then we have internal conflict. Internal. Ooh, such a great way to remember it is that it happens on the inside of a character's mind, right? And it's a problem in a character's mind. I'm going to stop us right here. I want you to think about that and know the difference between external and internal. Quiz yourself because there will be questions at the end of this that are going to ask you, what's an internal conflict? What's an external conflict? I know you got it, okay? So we're going to identify the questions from yesterday together, and then you're going to answer more questions today about our lovely story and conflict, okay? Great job. All right, look out for the next video.